What's good, family? Hope everyone's had a blessed Monday and having a blessed evening. Of course, this is the Southern Baller Show. Another episode. Appreciate y'all patience. I know we were supposed to do one yesterday, Sunday at 3:30, but the schedule wouldn't allow me to do that. But kept my promise. Wanted to do one for y'all today. Coach 67 Sports TV, he's at church, so he not be able to make it, but he is still supporting. Matter of fact, he in the chat now. Appreciate you, brother, Coach 67 Sports TV, and of course, I have my other co-host, Brett Fox.
Man, thank y'all so much for having me on. I definitely appreciate it.
You welcome, and brother Joe Town always supporting LDPC business, Mr. www.oldhillsidebourboncompany.com. Y'all know what it is. There's a link right there. Black owned.
Yay.
Y'all make sure y'all support, especially like something around the house. Make sure y'all support y'all. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about, though. I know this is the time period where everything is dried up as far as football, but we still able to squeeze out some topics. First thing we gonna talk about is Nick Saban. So Nick Saban has partnered up with President Donald Trump, and they're gonna do something about the college football landscape as far as NIL. So Nick Saban feels like I'm just going to go ahead and say it, the monkeys are running the show as far as where they want to go, who they want to be coached under. So no more of a coach is leaving a pipe in a house or on the table or just by their prestige of winning multiple college football championships. Those days are gone. Now it's about the money. Shout out to Jordan Seaton. He is a good example of that. Going from Colorado to LSU because they showed him the bag. But I'm gonna go with you, Brent. What do you think you think that they're actually going to change the law, make laws where these kids are limited as far as how much money that they get as far as NILs?
I certainly hope not. But with this particular administration, you can't put anything past them. And I'm thinking that, okay, on one side of it, I feel like you can't put like the toothpaste back in the tube. And then on the other side of that, these people have proven that they're well capable of doing whatever they damn well please. And that's a scary thought. I think personally that it is about time that these men and women who make these institutions millions and millions of dollars yearly finally get something out of it. I remember watching like a special on the Fab Five, and Chris Webber was saying that he had sold out jerseys and everything for when he played for Michigan. And he couldn't even get a slice of pizza.
Yeah, they had to get their money together to get tacos and stuff from Taco Bell.
Yeah, which is wild, man. I certainly hope that someone has some sense and just basically allows the players to be incentivized. Because they are the reason that these schools are making the money that they're making. So if you take something like that away, these people need to think about what that is actually going to do to these institutions. So, yeah, so I would strongly recommend that they reconsider if they're thinking about actually seeing something like this through. And let's just be honest about Nick Saban. This particular person or individual is a control freak. When the moment that he realized that he could not control the outcome, it just basically threw him for a loop, and he was just unable to continue. Like and now he wants to regain that particular point of control back, and he's finding some sort of loophole through someone who is in power themselves and doing what they damn well please to try to get, what they want. So, I'm not really surprised by Nick Saban's actions, but the way that he's actually going about it is reprehensible. And that's all I got to say.
No, it's well said. Soon as he figured out he's not going to get back-to-back 5 or 4 stars of blue chips like they did back in the day, and all in one position. Like you no longer going to have a blue chip running back, 5-star running back, 4-star running back. You know what I mean? And then to have the talent the following year, and they got to sit and wait until the senior back or the experience back is done and they get their shot, or whoever has the hot hand. No more of them days. A lot of these young boys want to go where they can start or where the money is. So that's the pros of this climate. It's no longer in the coach's hands like that as much. Not saying the coaches still don't have pull, but it's not as you no longer can get kids along by your prestige or just the program. The prestige of the program. JB, what's your thoughts on Nick Saban possibly gonna do something with Trump so they can have laws set in place where the money for these NIL deals is not flowing as it is now?
I think this is his way to get back into coaching. That's what I think. And the reason why he stopped coaching is because, like you brothers said, and many other podcasts I heard say I heard Shannon Sharp say that on Nightcap, that the only reason why he quit is because he didn't have, he didn't have, he doesn't have a control like that. So it's very sad that you got the old guard still trying to gain control, figure out ways how to gain control. But the thing is that I do hope that not through what Nick Saban is doing, I do hope that they try to put a cap on some of the NIL stuff. I want the players to get paid, but I do want them to be more managed well. Yeah. So players just can't, you know what I'm saying? And I want to say this in a way where I don't want to say like monkeys running the zoo, but make it more reasonable. You know what I'm saying? Where people can't just be stuck in the portal. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You have till this day, or you have, you know what I'm saying, this many times you can jump in the portal. If you jump more than 2 times, then you gotta stay wherever you on that second time. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. You can't just go to team. You got dudes that went to 3-4 colleges, man. Come on, man. But like you said, the days of and this is how Nick Saban wants it, where he had Derrick Henry, Then in the back, you got Eddie Lacy. You know what I'm saying? Then you might
King Drake.
have King Drake or Samara back there. You know
Alvin
what I'm saying?
Kamara.
So Alvin Kamara. So he wants it that he wants that control again. But
Mm.
no, I don't think it's returning to that. And especially that Miami Hurricane team. You know, when we always talk about this. When you had Clinton Porter, Willis
Dude, you
McGahee,
had
Joe
Adrian,
Gore.
and you had Adrian James just going to the league, and then behind him, Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Frank Gore, Najee Davenport, Jared Payton's son. I mean, uh, Sweetness' son, Jared Payton.
Yeah, Walter Payton's son,
Najee
Jared.
Davenport.
I mean
Yep.
that those days are gone, but them rosters was crazy, bro. Especially that Miami 2000 from 1999 to 2001 was ridiculous.
Look who was able to get him. The coach was the most used.
Yeah,
Now it's about the program who got the most money. And Indiana said we got something for y'all asses this year.
yeah. They did. They went with experience instead of the so-called big names, and they proved they could get it done. But speaking of salute to the family, Big Joe, he on the panel with us. What's going on, brother? Mr. Old Hillside Bourbon, what's going on?
What's good with you, man?
Ain't nothing, man. We join, just talking about this Nick Saban trying to back Trump so he can get things his way again.
Right.
And what's your opinion on this, man? Because you the one that I knew we knew what his ideas were, but you the one that pointed out he was going to side with Trump. So you already know. What's your thoughts on this, brother?
Yeah, well, not surprised at all. Nick Saban has not been a fan of the NIL since it first started. He's been out front about it. He's been against it, because his old way of recruiting is gone now. So Nick Saban is considered one of the old dinosaurs. So his way of recruiting is showing up, putting the rings on the table. If you want to come to Alabama, you can get you one of these. And if you're good enough, I can get you in the first and second round. And everybody will flood over there and go. That's how you can get the Trent Richardsons, the Jalen Hurts, the Tua Tagovailoas, the Reuben Fosters, the Julio Jones. All of them went over there. Through a certain period of time. So but that don't work no more. Now it's about the landscape of college football is different. It's a good thing and a bad thing. But I do agree with one aspect where they're talking about I don't like seeing players change schools every year. You only should be able to get one transfer, the whole time you're in college. You shouldn't be able to transfer, 4 or 5 times. That's ridiculous. Because that's not reality. That's not real life. So as far as the money goes, I'm all for them making all the money that they want. Because when they talk about players making too much money, they'll put up front the Shadors, the Travis Hunters, or another black player, but nobody says anything about Archie Manning getting $6 to $8 million in NIL money. Nobody says anything. You know what I mean? So, they gotta have a, obviously, you gotta have a black face on it if you want to get anything changed or done, especially when it comes to Congress, especially when it comes to the White House. So, not surprised. He's obviously a Trump supporter. And I'm sure Trump is going to make some changes. For some reason, he has his eye on college football with everything that's going on in the world. For some reason, the NIL is an important deal with him, but whatever. But yeah, but as a college player, I've always advocated for college players to get paid. Like I said on the interview when Jared interviewed me, I wrote a paper in 2008 saying why college athletes should get paid. And the teacher laughed in my face and gave me a letter grade that I didn't deserve because of my beliefs. So but during that time, when USC and Texas played against each other, Vince Young, versus Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush. That was a huge game. Each school got up to $30 to $40 million each just to be in the game. That's from TV ads, revenue, merchandise, all that kind of stuff. $30 to $40 million went to the school, and we all know for every D1 program, football pays for the rest of the sports, whether people like it or not.
Yep.
I know, college football pays for girls volleyball, it pays for golf, it pays for track, it pays for tennis, pays for wrestling, it pays for swimming. That's just how it is in the college landscape. So, especially if you go to a prestigious school where we have football and men's basketball pay for everything. So that's where the money's coming from. And for a long time, players like myself were getting $800 a month. If you're a phenomenal player, you'll get maybe $1,000 handshake, or you may get an apartment over there with a 745 BMW. You may get an S550 Mercedes, and nobody's gonna ask you where you got it from. You know what I mean? So, but now, players now are able to get somewhat of their worth, and they don't like it because the college landscape ain't no different than from the plantation, as Colin Kaepernick would say. Because the head coach is the overseer, and you literally got black men on the field playing. Field Negroes literally playing on the field. So,
Big Joe. And Bogle says Saban wants Alabama to become Candyland. Just tying it to what you saying. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and of course he has an invested interest because he's still a part of Alabama. He still has the big table on the top where he looks down and sees everything. He wants to see them back to prominence. Once they NIL came in the deal, you got teams like Houston, you got teams like Indiana, you got teams like Duke. Teams like SMU who are now getting a fair shot and able to actually play ball. For a long time in the college landscape, a lot of the big teams was hogging all the talent. Now it's getting spread around. Where you can have a Scudero who was at San Jose State who's now playing at Colorado. You know what I mean? So stuff like that is great for college, but for them, they look at it as they want to control everything, and coaches are big control freaks. So if you can't control them with the reins and whatnot, they definitely can't control them now with the money, because a lot of players now, some of them even make more than the coaches. But when it comes to the NIL, it's only just like in the NFL. In the NFL, everybody don't make millions. Maybe on the team of like 50 some guys, maybe anywhere between 5 to 8 are millionaires. Everybody else is thousandaires. So when they use this whole NIL deal, this whole NIL thing, that don't mean every college player is making millions of dollars. You got some who went from having $800 scholarship checks to now having $3,200 scholarship checks. And some of them are incentivized, for the loyalty with staying with the program. So everybody's not getting $8 million like Arch Manning. Some are just getting 100,000. Even basketball players, 200,000. You know what I mean? But you can't control the kid if he's making the same amount of money as you. So the way to control them is to try to get them back in line and to reduce the amount of money that they can make. So people got to ask themselves this. So if they take away the funding for the NILs, where's all that money going to? It's not just going to go in the background. Whose hands is it going to go through? The players are not going to get it no more. Maybe Nick Saban, maybe the head coaches, maybe the athletic directors, because I sure remember an article of Nick Saban having a $700,000 Mercedes in the parking lot when players are only getting $800 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Saban has a Ferrari dealership, Mercedes dealerships. He got all the money in the world. So you got to ask yourself, how come he doesn't want the players to get their fair cut when he has used black talent to build his family name and his family wealth over the years? The guys of Reuben Foster, Julio Jones, the McIntyres, the Trent Richardsons, he used them to get to where he's at now. But now when the players finally get an opportunity to have a little money, now he has an issue with it. And a lot of the coaches feel the same way as Nick Saban do. That's why a lot of them are on board with what he's trying to do. Well, if it's through the NCAA or it's through the president of the United States. So, not surprised. I'm not shocked. You know, some things will never change, and when they do, they're gonna do their best to revert it back to the old days.
Yes, they will, man. Yes, they will. And I'm glad you brought up SMU because I feel so. Yeah, SMU got caught cheating and everything, and they got hit with a death penalty. But what was messed up about that was I felt like it was done unjustly because a lot of the big programs, like you said, Alabama, Texas A&M, Texas, was doing the same thing. But what was the issue was SMU wasn't supposed to be that good. So it was pissing a lot. It was pissing a lot of the bigger programs off. So especially
Texas was
yeah. Go ahead.
Texas was supposed to get Eric Dickerson, and they threatened them because they couldn't get him.
Yep.
I mean, like I've been on recruiting trips. So I ain't gonna say no names. Shout out to the homie, he know who he is. I've been on recruiting trips with a high five star recruit. You know what I mean? I think he was a freshman or a sophomore. He was my host. I go in his dorm room, and again, when you're on scholarship, you get $800 a month, $830. I got last you all month, but somehow he has a $1,000 or $2,000 flat screen in his dorm room. He had True Religion jeans, designer jeans. He had designer shoes, all in his dorm room. And I asked him, I said, hey man, hey bro, how you get all this, man? He said, hey man, you know. So it ain't just SMU. The whole college landscape has been like that. They're better off giving $1,000 handshakes. They're writing off $100,000 checks. But money's been passed around in college since the beginning of time. So this ain't nothing new. They just don't like that now the players are finally having to say so and getting their cut. It was cool when the head coach is getting paid $20,000 per. So again, all right, I'm sorry. This whole talk about education, you know, it's they're going to, you're on scholarship, you're getting an education. That's a bunch of bull crap because you are an athlete student, not a student athlete. We spend more time in the facility than we do in the classroom. You only get 2 months off out of the whole year compared to a regular student where they get spring break, they get to do this, get the summer off. I only had May and December off when I was playing ball. Other than that, I'm in the facility damn near every day. So they say they care about education. Education is first. If education is the most important thing, why do you tell your players sit in the front of the class and you'll get a C? If education was so important, why don't you tell your players, hey man, we got to study harder than this? But instead you tell them, no, sit in the front of the class and don't worry about it, you're going to get a C. Or they're going to tell you, you know what? You're not taking this major, you're taking that major because this is the football major. Sit in the front of the class and you'll get a C. But, you know, they tell you that they care about education. I had a lot of my teammates who done graduated, or a lot of other college athletes that I know from other universities who done graduated, and they don't know a damn thing about their degree.
That's crazy.
But, you know, the coaches tell you education is important, but they don't tell you the fact that it's incentivizing their contract for every player that graduates. They get a $15,000 to $20,000 bonus for every player that graduates. So let's say you got 15 guys this year who's going to graduate. 20,000 times 15. That's how much the coach is going to get paid for every kid that graduates. And the higher your graduation rate is, let's say you graduate 98% of your players, that's more scholarships you're going to be able to hand out during signing day. So instead of getting 22, you might get 26 now, 27. You know what I mean? They're even so they want that number so high, they're even calling old players from the 90s and 2000s to come back and get your education and get your degree, because that's going to add also to the graduation rate, which allows them to what? Get more scholarships. Don't ask me how I know. I just know.
You hear it from a former highly talented D1 football player. He is not lying. He experienced it. Salute to Jay the Six. He said, yo, man, you just was live covering the WNBA draft, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate your channel. Salute to them sisters, young sisters, getting drafted. And Ozzie Flood got drafted from UConn, got drafted to Dallas Wings. And where my Fly J went to Golden State Valkyries. And Raven Johnson went to Indiana Fever.
She over there with the Caitlin.
Yeah.
I think old girl went to Atlanta, right?
Angel Reese, yeah, she was traded to Angel Reese, yeah. I went to Atlanta Dream.
Go Atlanta.
Yeah, man. But yeah, just Nick Saban, yeah, he, like JB put it perfectly, he part of the old guard. He wanted similar to like it was the old days where they can make money off these kids, and like Brent said, gave the example of Chris Webber. He saw all his jerseys being sold, and he damn in the dorm room him and his former players got scramp up money together just to get some Taco Bell.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's nasty work. I know that. Let me stop saying that. I known some people.
Allegedly.
Whether they went to my university or not, or other universities, because when you go to a higher level and you're training, and whatnot, you're gonna meet guys from other universities and stuff. I mean, a lot of guys, they were struggling. You gotta think about a lot of the top athletes are from, impoverished environments. Whether they want to say it or not, that's true. You don't get the best players from the suburban neighborhoods. They come from the Fort Myers projects and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them players, they get the $800 a month check, right?
Right.
Most of them, they send half of that check back home to help out moms, help out their little siblings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I've known a lot of my teammates or people that I knew from other universities who had to do some things just to get by. You know what I mean? So meanwhile, again, every player that graduates, a coach gets $20,000. But meanwhile, the players who are graduating, who are putting in the work, get $800 a month and have to do some strange for some extra change. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, I dig. I dig what you're saying, especially for before I say that. Let me shout out to everybody coming in, man. Jay the Six, man, appreciate you again. Anthony Boat said, right, Joe. I was just about to say Saban owning the largest car dealership in Alabama as well. Yep. And Boat said, I didn't like Saban simply how he treated Albert Means when Saban first went to Alabama. Yeah. Yeah, that was diabolical. 78 Sports TV, the general in the building. He said, salute, brother. Salute the general. Appreciate you coming by. Big Reg in the building. Host of Big Boy Talk. Salute, brother. Appreciate you coming by, man. Dope content creators in here. I appreciate y'all coming in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. But y'all, man, before we move on, any other extra things y'all want to say about Nick Saban or him trying to change the landscape back to how it was or similar?
Man, he can eat 1,000 wee-wees and die. I mean, yeah. We not monetized yet, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think it's just kind of symbolic of all these people that actually get behind this administration. They do actually they quite literally do want to go back to like the 1950s. Um, and you know, people that people that choose not to see it, you know, that says something about them too. But I mean, these people are literally showing you that they trying to take it back to an era where not only, you know, these coaches have control, but a certain group of folks have control, and people quote unquote know their place. So, you know, it's gonna touch everywhere. It's gonna touch everywhere. So there you have it. And I guess college athletics is no different. So yeah, not surprised.
No, not surprised at all, man. Not surprised. But let's go ahead and get the little UFL action out the way, man. This is a good year. People are bitching. Let me stop. People are complaining about the attendance because this is just the second year. The attendance and the support is not going to be like the NFL. Rome wasn't built in a day, like the old folks say. But I do see that enough interest where it continues to put money in Dwayne Rock Johnson's pocket where he can still keep the league going.
They're playing good football, man.
Yeah, they playing good football. Not like that. Y'all remember the XFL back in the 2000s?
Remember
Yeah.
the NFL
Man.
Europe? NFL Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. NFL Europe was what's the word I want to say? Organized. Vince McMahon should be ashamed of himself, man. Don't get me wrong. You had the cool nicknames like "He Hate Me," you know what I mean, and stuff like that.
You ain't like the cheerleaders in the shower. You ain't like that.
Say that again.
You ain't like to see the cheerleaders in the shower during halftime. You ain't like that.
Oh, I like that though. What I'm saying is the product on the field. It looked like I'm not saying this to kiss your ass, Big Joe. It's not like you was out there. Meaning you actually played a high level. It looked like they hired people from Division 3 that never,
The XFL was kind of scrounged together. I think during that time, I think that was when NFL Europe was kind of getting dissolved at the time, so there was no outlet, which is why they created the XFL. And they kind of just scrounge play like D2 and D3 players. There wasn't that many highly touted guys. It's not like the UFL where you have guys who went to Alabama, Miami, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's not like the XFL for sure.
No, and let me get it right. Because I remember they had dudes like Octavius Bishop, former offensive tackle from Texas. So people like that was on the squad. I'm just saying, they didn't make sure. And then, like you said, and yeah, you're right. It was enough time for them to have the product on the field to be better because it was some bad football being played on a lot of the games in their first season. So that's why they didn't come back. Vince McMahon and I'm forgetting the other guy who helped put SNL on the air, but they didn't have time to improve the product on the field, so it was bad. So my point of bringing that up is the UFL has had plenty of time to improve their product on the field, and that's why we're getting this good football. You can tell these boys, former NFL players, highly talented college players, and these coaches are former coach. A lot of them are former coaches from the NFL. So just to give the scores, so Orlando Storm beat Louisville Kings 29-27. Houston Gamblers get blown out by the DC Defenders 45-7. Columbus Aviators get beat by Dallas Renegade 28-23. I know Brett happy. uh, Berman Stallions lose to St. Louis Battlehawks 34-30. So the standings are the Dallas Renegade right now are 3-0 in the league. The Orlando Storm is 3-0. St. Louis Battlehawks is 2-1. DC Defenders 2-1. Houston Gamblers are 1-2. So is the Birmingham Stallions, and the Columbus Aviators and Louisville Kings are both 0-3. Now, I will say this. Unfortunately, head coach of the Columbus Aviators, Ohio high school great in
Had a
college
decent career in football.
and great, known as a deep threat in the NFL. Punt returner, can punt return, kick return. Ted Ginn Jr. was arrested, unfortunately.
Dumbass.
The DUI before the game. And he's the head coach of the Aviators. So that's unfortunate. But I hopefully the brother don't lose his job behind it.
Shit.
Let's talk about what you think. You think he's gonna lose his job, JB?
I mean, that shit, like the whole Fridays thing, man. How you gonna get fired on your day off? Dude, you did the day before the game, bro. What you doing? You the head coach. You can't even we all play football in this panel, man. Like, what he gonna tell his players? Like, say that they win a game, be like, hey y'all, we won. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, don't do nothing stupid. Like, coach, you did something stupid. What are you talking about? So I can't imagine them keeping him. I can't.
So you don't think they're gonna because he admitted he was wrong. He's being a man.
Of course. I just don't like stupid stuff, bro. You get in a good position, bro. You a black head coach, bro. What you doing?
Okay. Big Joe, what you think? You on mute, brother.
Yeah, I couldn't pressing the button ain't clicking. Yeah, well, I will say this. Ted Ginn is not the only head coach who has a habit. A lot of these coaches have habits, whether if it's drinking, smoking, whether if it's
Snorting.
messing with they players' moms, or messing with reporters. I hope we talk about that later. So a lot of these coaches, I mean, they got their own vices, but yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. Ted Ginn got a chance to coach, you know what I mean? And, alcoholism is real hard to break, so I don't know if he has a history of alcoholism, you know what I mean? But, literally you drinking like right before the game when you're supposed to be studying and preparing, you want to put your best foot forward, because not only players get scouted at the UFL, coaches get scouted too. You know what I mean? So assistant coaches and position coaches, they make good money in the NFL. So if you have a good showing in the UFL, there's no reason why, a team ain't gonna pick you up to be a defensive specialist or DB coach or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but the thing is, he made a mistake for sure. He came out, he made a statement, and he apologized. But there's one coach though who the press conference. I'm sure we're gonna talk about that later. So if we're gonna talk about Ted again, we gotta talk about old boy too.
Oh,
But yeah, it's definitely unfortunate. I'm glad he got in front of it. He made his mistakes, and we'll see if they keep him. It's gonna be hard to find a replacement unless you're gonna move up. The assistant head coach, or I don't know how many position coaches they have in the XFL. I'm sorry, in the UFL. But yeah, it's unfortunate, and whatever he's going through, I hope that he gets some help. So everybody loves to have sympathy and talk about mental health when it comes to the mother folks. Seem like Ted Ginn going through something. hopefully he gets the help his needs, so that way he can be on the way to sobriety. But I will say
Agreed. That's
this,
good. Well
Ted.
said, bro.
But I will say this: Ted Ginn is not the only coach, high school, junior college, college, or NFL, who might have a drinking problem. He's just
Oh,
the
You
only
yeah.
one
right?
that's only
He
getting
got
blasted.
caught.
And
He got caught.
don't ask me how I know, because I done been out many a nights and been at the shake 'em ups. You dig what I'm saying? At the shaking up spot, with the $10 Tuesday. You dig what I'm saying? And and you may see a coach in there drinking in the lap dance. You dig what I'm saying?
Hey,
Hey, so you know, so shout out to Ted Gendo. I hope he gets the help he needs, and I hope that he still stays the head coach, so that way he can redeem himself. How is he going to talk to his team? Simple. I made a mistake. This is how you handle it. And this is how you get in front of it. And this is how you move forward. That's how you keep your job.
right. Shout out to Ted Ginn Jr., man. Just be smart next time. Know that your eyes is always watching you, even at a lower level, even when you don't think they watching you. Man, like Joe said, man, I hope he get a second chance. Like I said, I hope he, breaks his illness. As far as I don't know if he act. I ain't gonna put that on him. Man, just make better choices, man. Shout out to Ted Ginn.
Shout out to Ted Ginn Jr. Brent, before I go to you, Brent, Anthony Bolton said, Coach Ted Jr. said to his players, do what I say, not what I do, fellas. Pretty much. But Brother Brent, what you think?
Yeah. Much to Joe's point, Coach Ginn wasn't the only person that has made that type of mistake. I remember there were a few years back, there was an offensive coordinator, I think, for the Miami Dolphins that was on video snorting some sort of white substance. They did not say what it actually was. And they were only speculating on whether or not he should actually keep his job. So, I think unfortunately, Coach Ginn is probably going to fall victim to a double standard, and
Yep.
my
That's
heart goes out
crazy
to
work.
him.
So
Yeah,
this is
my
what
heart
I
goes
read in
out to
that.
him. Yeah, my heart goes out to him. I don't know whether or not and to be quite honest with you, with like the Columbus Aviators, I think it's like the way that they actually lose is kind of probably what's gonna kind of tip the scales to like letting him go. Because
Mm-hmm.
with the Aviators, they start off strong, but for whatever reason, they just cannot finish games at all. And
Yeah, they
then
play good football first half. You right?
yeah, and then it just falls apart as the game goes along. So this, unfortunately, is probably going to be like the tipping point. That's like, well, he couldn't get him across the finish line anyway, so we'll just let him go, and then we'll just try and figure out what we do next from there. But yeah, I think that I think honestly, if the Aviators were able to finish those games, they'd probably find a way to like either minimize the damage, like do damage control, or if they could sweep it under the rug. But because of the way that the team is actually performing, and then this, yeah, I don't think that I don't think that they'll keep him. But like if he was, if he was some if he was some fair skinned guy that was just deemed as some type of offensive genius or something like that, then it's, hey, the campaign would be, hey, everybody messes up sometimes, and I think this would make him more relatable to the players, and I think that the players would probably be more comfortable confiding in him because he's literally been where they've been if they make a mistake, and all of that good stuff is how they would actually sell it. But because the team is actually performing the way that it is, and then you got a head coach, unfortunately, that made a mistake, then I think unfortunately that's just gonna be the recipe that does him in. So
Yeah, winning sure makes it. If you win, boy, they're gonna look the other way. If you're losing,
Facts.
boy, they're gonna put you. They're gonna put you front and center.
Aviators 0-3, ain't they?
Yep.
yes, sir. They can't. We just have to call them can't get right. They just do not finish, man.
Them and
They
That's what makes me mad, bro. You know they ain't gonna judge you like they do the rest of these people, man. You know that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I know Ted getting senior taught him better. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Be more slick, like Joe point. Be more slick with your stuff, man. Hey, if you need to get a driver, get a driver or something.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It reminded me of a joke. Y'all remember the comedian, rest in peace, Tyler Craig?
Yeah.
Remember he had the joke where, if you don't want to drink and drive, and you messed up, have your AAA car on you and call them and be like, I don't know what the hell wrong with this car. I'll see y'all when y'all get back, and we just sleep. But they just were towing you where you tell them. So do something like you said. Do be slick. Do something, man. Don't put yourself in jeopardy in that. Like that. J Bar said, salute fellas in chat. Salute J Bar. Appreciate you for support. But yeah, man. Ted again, Jr. will be all right, man. I don't know if he's gonna stay the head coach, but I'm sure. Well, I pray and I hope he continue to get opportunities.
That's it. Hope he get another opportunity.
Yeah. Speaking, since we're gonna talk about boxing, go ahead.
But I'll say this though. What Ted did was a little. We all feel some kind of way because we wanted brother to succeed, but at least he ain't crashed his motorcycle with the side chick on the back seat. I'm just saying because that coach is still coaching right now. I'm just saying.
But see,
that's you, Jared.
That's facts. That's another thing of that's fact.
We want to fire the brother because he was slogged and toasted and but you gonna wreck your.
But he ain't supposed to get no opportunity though.
Yeah.
The old boy making in the league making millions, huh?
Yep.
Nah.
It's crazy out here, bro. Let's go ahead and do into it before we go into boxing. We on the topic. Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel. Those who don't know, Mike Vrabel is under investigation for basically alleged or has been proven that he's been messing with his co-worker.
I believe it.
So he's under fire right now, but I don't think nothing gonna happen. Especially if New England. Oh, he in New England too. Shh.
Ain't the owner doing wasn't the owner doing what they got in trouble? They got on Deshaun Watson for wasn't Robert Kraft doing that stuff? And ain't nobody saying shit. Yeah. Ain't nobody. They ain't nothing gonna happen to Mike up there in New England, especially when he just took his team to the Super Bowl. They gonna talk about it for a couple of weeks or maybe a month, and then that shit gonna die down. But we gonna keep talking about it. That's for damn sure. Just like, oh boy, what's that dude's name, Joe? You brought him up. The dumbass that fell off the bike with the side chick. I think he played for. I think he was a coordinator for the Jags too. What's this?
Bobby Petrino.
Oh, damn, ain't he the offensive coordinator for Carolina?
Ain't there a connection here? Damn, this
So we got him
Bill Belichick. My
and
young Bill.
Sugar Daddy Belichick, and damn. I hope he wins some games. So we don't win them games here. Bill need to go back cheating or something. God, I leave. But go ahead.
So I was gonna ask the fellas, man, what's your opinion on Mike Vrabel situation? Since we, like Joe beautifully put it, we talk about the brother Ted Ginn, but people is not blasting Mike Vrabel as much as I think they did Deshaun Watson, you know, and other brothers. So I'm gonna go with you, Big Joe. What you think?
Oh, Mike Vrabel. Well, I'll
Steph,
say
go,
this.
what's up?
That's Beasley. What up, Playboy? Don't ask me how I know. Just know that Mike Vrabel is not the only coach out here who's busting down journalists. I say that, tell you that right now. You know, so a lot of these stories that get out, a lot of these stories that get, whether they're fake news or whatever, whether it's to call it distraction, you know, it's put out by somebody. You know, so him having a relationship with the journalist is nothing new. That's what goes on in college sports. You know, so I've seen it firsthand in person. You know, so you know what they say, it's a part of the game. You know, so a lot of you have some journalists who do real work and who go by ethics and codes and stuff like that, and then you have some journalists, you know, I ain't gonna say no names, you know, but her brother is the defensive line coach for the Dolphins, and I mean for the Miami Hurricanes, who played D line for the Miami Dolphins, one of the best D linemen to play for the Miami Dolphins. His sister, you know, get bust down to get where they at, you know, so not surprised, but to see that it's getting hushed, it's not on the front page news at ESPN, it's not all over the place like they did my dog Ime Doka at Boston Celtics. You know what I mean? Because he was a married man messing with a married woman, and Mike Vrabel is married messing with a journalist who's married. So I don't see no difference. They both should be on the front page news. But you know, again, like y'all was saying, coaches love talking about, because I've heard the speech: accountability, dependable, make smart decisions. Don't let your team down. Do be a team player. I ain't heard all that malarkey. But then we have a coach who was just in the Super Bowl, you know, deciding to not be accountable because he's supposed to have a press conference today, the pre-draft press conference, but he ducked that press conference because he didn't want nobody asking questions about his side chick. But meanwhile, Ted Ginn decided to make a post and you know about his incident. So it seems like Ted Ginn's a better man than Mike Vrabel because at least he's standing on business.
Oh,
You know, so what Vrabel say when it comes in front of his team? Again, winning cures all problems. Now, in every football team, a lot of things happen throughout the year. Every NFL team, a lot of stuff gets published, a lot of things don't. You know, but you know, so it's just it'd be interesting to see how this is gonna go forward. But again, you have the coach busting down the side chick journalist, and then you have the owner who's getting rubs and tugs in Florida. What are you doing in Florida getting rub and tugs if your team's in Boston? But anyways, how the media is suppressing this, they're gonna sweep it underneath the rug. She's not gonna lose her job. He's not gonna lose his job. And it's not going to be front page news. The double standard is the double standard. But everybody loves to talk about having morals, values, and ethics and being accountable and making the right decisions. But the head coach of the New England Patriots is not doing any one of those things. So he's going to have to stand in front of his team. They'll bring him back. They'll accept him. They'll still love him. But he's going to stand in front of his team He might not say it on the press conference. He might not say it in a Instagram message like Ted Ginn Jr., but he understand in front of his whole team, Drake, May, and all them, and say, I made a mistake. I was wrong. This and this. Will you guys forgive me? Da da da. All that kind of stuff. And they're gonna forgive him, because they were just in the Super Bowl. You ain't gonna if they fired Gerard Mayo for nothing, they sure ain't gonna fire Mike Vrabel for getting to the Super Bowl in like 2 years. They ain't gonna do that now.
Hell no.
So
Hell no.
no, but again, don't ask me how I know. I just know. Mike Vrabel is not the only coach, whether it's the head coach, assistant coach, or whatever, busting down journalists. It's a part of the game. Same way it's a part of the game for, a CEO to bust down his secretary or his assistant. Ain't no different. But the world's gonna keep on spinning. Mike Vrabel will be the head coach of the Patriots next year. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing because if it's gonna happen anywhere, it better be happening in New England because they used to controversy, Spygate, Deflategate, Massagegate, all that kind of stuff, and all that stuff. They went through all that, so they have a great PR team and they have experience of getting through the malarkey. So they're gonna be just fine. But hey, Vrabel, hey, you could have picked somebody at least a little more prettier. I don't get that one. She could at least look like something. Now, if that was Scarlett Johansson, I might have got it. If that was, the D-line coach for the Miami Hurricanes, if that was his sister, okay, I get it. You dig what I'm saying? But you pick a woman who looked like Skip Bayless's wife.
Oh no.
Not Vrabel. You a head coach making tens of millions of dollars. You could do a whole lot better than that. But let me guess, she got a great personality. She's funny, right? You know what I mean? Hey. Anywho.
Oh snap. Brent, well, before I go to you, Brent, D-Man Jr., what's up, man? He said, what's good with it, bros, man? Appreciate you coming by, D-Man Jr. And Aunt Bolton said she has peanut butter skin like Whitlock said. Oh, man. Brent, what's your opinion on Mike Vrabel situation? You on mute, Brent. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I was just saying Joe had me at malarkey with his last statement. But yeah, and you know what? Now that I think about it, and thank you, Joe, for putting me on game. But I'm not gonna be able to look at Sunday Night Football the same again, man. It's like somebody ruining Christmas for you. But anywho's, jeez Louise. Now that image is stuck in my head. Okay, back on to the subject. This again is probably going to be another double standard. I think Diana Rossini, who was the woman involved, her job at ESPN may actually be in jeopardy. Meanwhile, Coach Vrabel gets to, duck press conferences and lick his wounds and have enough time to just, try to get over what just actually happened and just go right back on to what he was doing. I think that they're probably going to make an example out of Diana Rossini, and she's probably going to do her own podcast coming soon. So, yeah, I don't think that there's going to be any major repercussions for Coach Vrabel at all. And like Joe said, these coaches with the accountability speeches and, hey, you got to make informed decisions, on and off the field. And, these people look at you and all of that other stuff. I mean, man, I constantly think about like religious leaders when they're doing all the fire and brimstone stuff and preaching that you better get right and all of that. And meanwhile, you out there Friday night when everybody else gets paid, doing the same thing we doing, and then you're holier than thou on Sunday. But I ain't gonna say nothing about that. But yeah, I don't think that Vrabel's gonna face any type of real punishment at all. I think Diana Rossini's gonna catch it, but not Vrabel.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they ain't nothing gonna happen to old Rabel. Uh, Andy Bolton said, "I wonder if these players asked Rabel if that thing was tight and wet, not monetized yet." Y'all stupid. Steph Boone said, "Not Skip Bayless wife." Yeah, I can't unsee it now. I'm looking at her picture.
But like Nick Nolte, don't.
Not Nick Nolte, but anyway, JB, what's your opinion on this situation, man?
Vrabel is gonna be alright. Ain't nothing gonna happen to Vrabel, man. He's a football. I call him a football darling. He was a good player with the Patriots and a good coach. He had he's good with them people and with the players. And then, apparently with the coaches, how they got like Joe said, how they got rid of Mayo to get him. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't going nowhere. He gonna have a formal apology. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Joe said, stand up in front of the team and make an apology. And most football players is dudes. They gonna be like, okay, all right, whatever. Let's get back to training camp. Let's get this money. So they ain't gonna give a shit. So he'll be all right. But the Southern Baller Show is gonna talk about people being hypocrites, people being want to pick and choose what they want to be outraged on. So you was outraged with the brother from the Celtics. You was outraged with what they claimed that Deshaun Watson did. But ain't nobody say shit with Mike Vrabel and Robert Kraft and old boy that's coaching with my team, offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino. They get another chance. You know what I'm saying? Bill Belichick get the date dude 20. He ain't doing nothing illegal, but he did get the dude. He a cradle robber. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So let's say
dudes.
No, I'm saying he can date dudes' daughters. You know what I'm saying? He just be scouting them from high school. Oh, she turning 18, so she legal. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that, man. But everybody okay with that? You know what I'm saying? So people like to pick and choose, man. I'm just sick of all the picking and choosing, bro. And so going back to Ted Ginn Jr., I'm gonna send up a prayer for that brother.
Yeah, man. I agree. Yeah, Mike Vrabel's gonna be all right. He's not. This is just a storm that's gonna blow over because the powers to be is gonna allow it. Point blank. Period. Aunt Bo said, "Y'all know that Skip Bayless' wife had a crush on Kawhi Leonard." She said it on Undisputed. It explains why he was hating on Kawhi. Yeah. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to boxing, fellas. So Conor Benn fought Regis Prograis. This past weekend, and I must say, fellas, Conor Benn did not look all that great to me. Put it this way: if he would have fought a younger Regis Prograis who had younger legs, and and not as much battle miles he had on his body as far as boxing, I could not go as far as say he probably would have stopped Nigel Ben. I'm not Nigel Ben, Conor Ben. Fellas, you think I'm going too far as thinking that?
In the words of Keyshawn Davis, and the father can get it too.
Right. But I wasn't impressed with Conor Ben. I was not impressed with Conor Ben whatsoever. Brent, what did you think of the fight?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that Conor Ben put up a convincing enough performance for him to be a $15 million fighter, and then more importantly, shake up the welterweight division, I guess, even though he fought at 150. Which was very very hypocritical. I thought that Zuffa was saying that they're only gonna do like the major weight classes and they're not doing catch weights and all of that. But I guess there is exceptions to every rule, But Conor Ben was not as advertised, man, at all.
And there's two-part question to that, Brent.
Yeah.
Supposedly Ryan Garcia is targeting Conor Ben. Is Conor Ben a challenge for Ryan Garcia? Even though we know he's a fraud, but is he skilled enough to beat Conor Ben?
It depends on what super soldier serum he takes.
All right.
If he takes if he takes the original super soldier serum, the one that actually turned I done forgot the guy's name, Steve Austin, into Captain America, then great. If he takes the serum that turned old buddy into the American agent, then he not finna win that one. American agent is like a comic book character that was a bootleg Captain America. He wasn't as good as the original. But
Gotcha.
but yeah, he's gonna need maybe another fight to try to be on that level. Man, I don't like either one of those guys, but if I had to put money on it. Oh, can you hear me?
No, I'm saying not me neither.
Yeah. If I had to put money on it, then unfortunately, I would have to take racist Ryan. But it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think that he's actually ready for anybody in 147. I would love to actually see him fight Brian Norman Jr. So, Brian Norman Jr. could have like a good win under his belt, supposedly, of a marquee fighter that they're overpaying, obviously. And he would be able to kind of move on with his career. He'd have that notch on his belt. And I actually think Brian Norman Jr. would probably knock him out.
Oh,
depending on what the circumstances are. But the roided, raging, racist Ryan Garcia would probably win that fight.
Okay. Joe, what did you think about the fight, and then what you think about him potentially fighting Ryan Garcia next?
Yeah, I saw the fight, and I wasn't too impressed. Because we gotta look at the whole parameter of the fight. Conor Ben, who fights at 154, pulled up a career 140-pound fighter, brought him up to 150, and fought him in the UK. So theoretically, this is supposed to be a showcase. It's on Netflix. He getting paid by Zuffa. He's supposed to dog walk an older fighter who happens to be crippled with injuries. He was supposed to do his thing, but When you fight under Big Turk, you got to be clean now. One thing about Big Turk, he ain't gonna let you do the Canahan now. You know what I mean? So so you're gonna have to fight clean. And just like Ryan Garcia, who fought on a Turkey Alex sheet card when he was clean, you saw him get dog walked by Rolly. And then a Conor Ben, who's fighting clean on Turkey Alex sheet card, had a hard time with an Asian fighter with injuries who he brought up 10 pounds, who he's supposed to knock out. Regis Prograis gets a bad rap, but Regis Prograis, he's game. He game to fight. You know what I mean? If he was younger, yeah, he will get Conor Ben out of there. But Conor Ben didn't show up that day. When you can't eat your 30 eggs every day, you look a whole lot different. So hair, the spray tan, ain't work out for him. So the fact that he might fight a Ryan Garcia gonna dog walk Conor Ben. He gonna dog walk him. So it's gonna be the battle. It's gonna be who got the best juice. You know what I mean? Because again, I ain't seen no testing results for Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. So if they fight, I'm sure there's gonna be no drug testing or limited drug testing. So they're gonna be able to do whatever they need to do. Cycle on, cycle off, whatever. Hey, show up with an IV in your arm the same day. Who knows? You know what I mean? To get the real soldier serum. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't see him beating nobody at 147. He don't beat Devin. He don't beat Brian Norman. I don't see him beating Ryan Garcia. If he brings Ryan Garcia to 154, I think he has a chance. Ryan Garcia's, he still has a speed at 147. Does have a speed at 154 or like at 160 or 168. You know what I mean? Because the heavier you get, that speed slows down quite a bit. You know what I mean? So, Ryan Garcia is not technically sound either. He has fast hands. He has a left hook, but Ryan Garcia is known to turn his back in the fight, do all type of shenanigans. So. But I think Ryan Garcia still beats Conor Ben, not because Ryan Garcia is this phenomenal fighter. It's just that I don't think that Conor Ben is just that good.
I agree wholeheartedly. And that you can't do no Canahan stuff on the Big Turk. That went over a lot of folk head. And people act like they don't want to get, especially the UK folks. JB, what did you think about the fight?
I think that Conor Ben, Nigel Ben, whatever, and they same thing. They both cheated. He's the original. Everybody keep talking about weight bullies. People throw that word weight bullies around, especially out here. When they talk about Devin, they call him a weight bully. But I used to call him a weight bully, but to tell you the truth, this dude is actually a weight bully. Didn't he drain old boy Eubank in they second fight?
Yep.
He sure did.
So, I mean, this dude needs an advantage to win. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just starting to think that's what they do over there. You know what I'm saying? Take it how how you feel, and take it how it sounds. It is what it is. This is what I see. It's always people over there that's doing that underhanded shit. And people give them a pass. So, but I ain't really got nothing to say about old buddy, man. I wasn't impressed. Rougarou, I know if it was 5 years younger, he'd have knocked his ass out. He just couldn't. He's old, man. He was on his way out anyway. He couldn't. How he was excited that he got through that fight without getting beat up and knocked out. He was happy as hell. And gave him the young boy advice. Hey boy, I'm old. I'm getting out of here, bro. Congrats on you. Good luck to your career and all that. He was glad that the fight was over, and now he could retire. And congrats to him. To Regis Prograis. He's a good fighter, good warrior, even though he was hating on Devin a little bit, but he was a good fighter. good representation of New Orleans as a fighter. But yeah, if it was about 5, 10 years earlier, and uh, Conor would have fought Regis, he would have knocked him out. Because me watching the fight, Regis just didn't have the legs anymore, and he wanted to when Conor would turn and he tried to turn with him and throw a punch. He was just too slow.
Okay, I agree. Now this next fight we gonna talk about, and I want to say this: all you MF and so and so who were talking ish about Deontay Wilder and his fight with Derek Chisora, y'all complaining how sloppy it was. Wilder and Derek Chisora can't fight. You know what? They may not be technically sound, but them some damn warriors. And they some damn
I'll watch that fight any day other than that bullshit I watched on Saturday. Thank God it's on Netflix.
Because nobody was paying for that. Tyson Fury looked horrible against this guy. This guy that has you talking about Deontay Wilder can't box? Mamadov could not box whatsoever. He tried to throw, and so bad, Tyson Fury was still getting caught with that shit a couple of times with that sloppy shit. Awful. I don't care if he did have a long layoff. He looked bad. So, after the fight, Tyson Fury challenged AJ, to come up to the ring and so they can promote the fight. AJ pretty much said, no, you don't. You a clout chaser. You don't dictate nothing to me. You in my world. I see you whenever I get ready, basically, and I'm ad-libbing. So my thing is, a lot of people are saying that the ball is in AJ court. I understand that, but this is a perfect AJ. This is a perfect time. You're not gonna fight Deontay Wilder. This is a perfect time to watch a sloppy ass non-stick. Because if y'all paying attention, Tyson Fury was supposed to. Tyson Fury was supposed to knock this dude out.
Yeah. Old boy was in the corner, was trying to get Tyson to stop, dude, and he couldn't do it. Yep.
Where's the power at, yo?
Yep.
Where's the power? I remember when the third fight when he KO'd Wilder. Oh, Fury hit hard, and all you Negroes with the memes and the videos on your channels praising Fury. Where's the power at? What have a lot of the LDBC brothers been trying to tell y'all for years? About Fury. It's a fucking facade, y'all. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. And some of y'all want to believe it. Because it's better to believe the illusion from a white man than a brother. Brent, what did you think about the fight, man?
Hot garbage. I mean, man. First of all, I was a David Hay fan. I still am. So him rooting for his countrymen and trying to state that Fury was actually just setting this guy up for beautiful combinations, and they kept highlighting the uppercuts that Fury landed, and oh yeah, he was he's masterfully setting traps, and he's baiting him in, and yeah, this may be a sloppy fight, but you have to appreciate the art behind it and all that good stuff.
All that
They were
bullshit.
very understanding. They were very, very understanding. Meanwhile, to y'all's point, when Wilder and Chisora actually had a all out brawl and war, that was not appreciated. It was largely not appreciated. Most of the people sticking points was, Wilder's not, Wilder's not, Wilder's not, Wilder's not, Wilder's not.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, you had Tyson Fury that was, architecting something beautiful, and that what he was doing was so brilliant, and he was, he's masterfully setting the, setting the pace and all this other stuff. But let Deontay Wilder mess around and make a mistake or two in the fight or something like that. They all over him. He just ain't got it. He just ain't got it. He just ain't got it. Which kind of just brings me to the AJ situation in both fights. Now, as a human being, I understand that you suffer a massive personal tragedy like this, and to be quite honest, man, you're not going to be the same. You're just not.
You're not.
And I do get that. I get that from a human standpoint. And let me just go on record saying that as far as a human being goes, from what I have seen outside of how he conducts business in boxing, AJ seems to be a good human being outside of his moves in boxing. But you strategically place him in the Chisora and Wilder fight. He's outside his locker room, or when Wilder's actually walking away from the fight, he's somehow, in the walkway for Wilder to go back to the locker room. You're strategically placing him over there to where, you don't want Wilder to forget about him for whatever reason. And then in the meantime, it's like, well, we would fight Wilder, or Wilder would be a good warm up for us, and you go to Tyson's Fury's fight, knowing full well that this man is going to call you into the ring and he's going to try to get a fight on with you. And your response is, oh no, this is your night. I'm trying to be a gentleman about it, but this is your night. And, I'm not interested in doing that right now. And, it escalates to, I call the shots and I'm not a clout chaser like you, and F you and all of that other stuff. And, God bless these people that get behind stuff like that. But I'm just going to be honest with you. Well, if you're strategically placing yourself at these particular fights, personal tragedy aside, if you're not in the right mind frame to try to get up and fight these people, don't go to their events. Like, it's real simple. If you're not, quote unquote, mentally or psychologically ready to fight, stop going to these people's events. Stop strategically placing yourself to where these people can see you, and it's going to be inevitable that they're going to ask you to fight. That's what you do. You fight for a living. You ain't had no problem beating up on Jake Paul and all of that, which deservedly so, by the way.
Right.
But you ain't had no problem doing that. Now you have all these issues with getting ready to fight Wilder, which he's never ever probably gonna fight Wilder. I don't even know why the hell he came to that fight. Oh, I'm sorry. It was to support his friend Derek Chisora. Well, why don't you bring your ass over to Chisora's side and just stay over there? Okay. Why are you strategically placing yourself in Wilder's line of sight? You know what? I take that back. I hope they do fight, and I hope Wilder knocks his damn head off, man. I'm so sick of this dude, boxing wise. Okay, I'm so sick of this dude boxing wise. I he, I think he's just a gimmick fighter, to be honest with you. I think he's just a gimmick fighter. Yes, with the Netflix fight with Jake Paul, where you made $92 million, you became, I guess, an international sex symbol because all these women is fawning all over him and everything. And I'm not hating on that. You know, if you marketable like that, yeah, use that to your advantage. But at the same time, while you're using that marketability, you need to be negotiating a fight if you're going to show up to these other folks' fights. Okay? If you're not interested in doing something like that, don't bring your ass to these fights.
Preach.
I just don't understand that, man. It is frustrating. You made your living as a professional fighter. You won a gold medal, questionably. You won a gold medal in the Olympics for boxing. Boxing is what you do. Boxing is how these people identify you. What now you gonna go off and be some motivational speaker, or what you doing? What you doing besides that? People not gonna recognize you besides boxing. Now maybe you could probably get into a few action movies and maybe make a career out of that. You know, as a big burly black guy, but shit. You know, I just don't understand the logic behind that. And while I'm on that, fuck Eddie Hearn. I don't understand why you would actually place your product. Yeah, because you're not looking at Anthony Joshua as a human being. You're looking at him as a product to sell to people. So why would you place your product at these competitors' events and then turn around and be like, well, you know, we didn't come there for all of that. Let's stop bullshitting people. Stop bullshitting people. Let me cut myself short because this is an all-night subject for me. And you know, fuck them both. Okay, as far as the business of boxing goes, fuck both of them. All right.
Preach, brother.
You tell him, Brent.
Jay brother, I agree, Brent. Y'all cooking tonight, yes, sir. You know we have to go to the brother Big Joe. What's your opinion on the Fury sloppy ass fight, and then did AJ duck Fury? What's your opinion?
First off, there's only one Ricky Hatton. Rest in peace to Gagball. I mean Ricky Hatton. AKA
Pull my glove up.
AKA pull me glove up. You dig what I'm saying? So you know, somebody
boy.
who knew about the cheating and was cool with it. So hey, wherever you at, I hope you got all the gag balls you need. Anyways,
damn.
Far too from you, far behind you. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, the fight was again. Tyson Fury fought a guy who he was supposed to showcase in front of. He's fought a guy who everybody knows is gonna come forward and swing like a big burly ogre, just like the ogre in God of War Ragnarok when you're doing the Valhalla series. He's gonna come forward and swing. That's what he's supposed to do. So Tyson Fury is supposed to, spin around, and do that all night. What Tyson Fury did that everybody praised him for in the Gypsy King is back ain't no different than what Devin Haney do. But y'all hate Devin Haney. Devin Haney was precise and picking his shots and tearing Brian Norman apart and even dropped him. But y'all say that was boring and I don't get it and I don't like boxing. But then when it comes to Tyson Fury, y'all like boxing again. You know, y'all complain that you don't like boxing. 1 minute you don't like boxing, you don't want to see knockouts. Well, okay, well I'll give you Deontay Wilder. Well, All he do is knock out. He don't do no boxing. I thought she didn't like boxing. Anywho, the double standard is nasty work. What Tyson Fury did ain't no different than what Devin Haney do in every fight. The difference is, is obvious. But he can't. Tyson Fury did what he did. Now, again, I don't see no bone crushing, skull crushing power. I ain't see no pull me glove up. I ain't see nothing flopping, and none of that kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe because he didn't ask the old girl if he has a big Corey or not. I don't know. I guess if you ask you about a big Corey, then maybe he probably gonna knock you out. I don't know. But yeah, he looked like the regular Tyson Fury. He came in okay shape. I see the veins in the shoulders. Let me find out you cycling now, because when you fought Francis Ngannou, you ain't look like that, and you got dropped. Now all of a sudden you got veins in your shoulders, and you're a little older now. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying.
Look like dog shit. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. But yeah, no, it was an okay fight. Good thing you have to pay for it. It's something to watch. But he didn't look that impressive. He definitely had a lot of ring rust. Later on in the rounds, after round like 7, 8, then he finally started doing all that kind of stuff. Again, you fractured Deontay Wilder's skull. Why can't you fracture this guy's skull with this knockout power that you learned from the Crunk Gym? You learned this power, so it should carry with you throughout every fight. Why is it only selectively you crushing Wilder's head, but you can't crush Francis Ngannou's head? You can't crush the big burly ogre's head, and you sure ain't crush Usyk's head because he beat you twice convincingly.
The dog shit out your head.
So, and again, when he got dropped by Francis Ngannou, it happened to be on what? A Turkey Al-She card. Well, you know what? You got to be clean. You got to be zestfully clean. You dig what I'm saying? So, hey, the Tyson Fury that we saw is who he is. But beautiful night of boxing, bruv. But Devin Haney do the same thing. He's boring and all that kind of stuff. But Tyson Fury was supposed to embarrass this guy, drop this guy, and get him out of there. But guess what? He couldn't do it because he didn't have his egg weights. He had to pull me glove up, and he wasn't cycling on nothing. You were off for 18 months. I know you were cycling because when you retired from boxing, ain't nobody checking you. So you did all that, got veins in your shoulders, and you still couldn't knock him out. So
damn, Dave Allen almost stopped this guy his last fight.
Hey. So
but Fury couldn't rock him not one time. Go ahead.
No. He couldn't. He tried. We couldn't. Because again, I guess that one knockout crunk power, I guess, is only works on Wilder. Don't work on nobody else.
But Wilder lying though, Tom. Wilder lying though. He making excuses. He don't know. He's a stupid country boy from Alabama. He don't know what he talking about. No, let me stop. Niggas about to get me mad up in this motherfucker. Go ahead.
Well, folks can say Wilder's lying, but like Wilder says, sue me. If I'm lying, then sue me. You know what I mean? So, but I'll say this regarding Anthony Joshua. Shout out to AJ. He's getting outside. Yes, he went through that tragedy. He literally saw his friends die in front of him. If y'all didn't know, AJ was supposed to be in the front seat. Only reason why he wasn't in the front seat because the driver said, "Boy, you too big. I can't see the window. Get in the back." And that's the only reason why AJ's still here. You know what I mean? Wow. So, so I get the tragic part. So I'm happy to see him outside.
Yeah, it's good.
And I'm happy to see him doing this thing. Smiling, still trying to smile. But I know he says he's trying to carry on the legacy of his friends. He wants to get back fighting again and all that kind of stuff. I get it. No, he was in discussions with Tyson Fury before the accident. And from what I've heard, they were in discussions again as of recently before the fight if Tyson Fury beats his fighter he was supposed to fight, AJ. That's been talked about and negotiated with Turkey Al-Sheikh and Eddie Hearn. So this is something that's been talked. He wasn't there just to be there. They've been negotiating this fight. And if you're in the know, then you knew that already. So him showing up to the fight wasn't on accident. It wasn't like, oh my God, AJ's here. AJ, why are you here? No, everybody knew that. So the fact that he got called out and he said what he said, now, you can say you call the shots all you want to, but I ain't heard nobody bring up one time that lifetime contract with Eddie Hearn. So boy, you gonna do what Eddie tell you to do. That sound good.
Yep.
But if Eddie said, boy, get out there and fight Tyson Fury, you better get in there and fight Tyson Fury before you lose everything now. So all this, I do what I want to do. No, no, boy, you do what Eddie tell you to do. That's why Eddie told you to fight Anthony. Told you to fight Jake Paul, and you went in there and fought Jake Paul. AJ ain't want to do it. Eddie Hearn told him to do it. But nobody won't speak on that though. Anywho, you know, but AJ is still AJ. AJ's been doing the same things since we've known him. So how he reacted to getting called out, not surprised at all. So whether it's Wilder, whether it's Fury, those are two guys that everybody want to see him fight. So of course there's going to be some interest and might be some pressure to see him fighting those guys. So that's why everybody's talking about it. And then people may call AJ a duck or say, whatever. But it's the same pattern we saw AJ do before the accident and all that kind of stuff. So this is the same AJ who got beat by Andy Ruiz, and he said in the press conference, I wish it was Wilder. I wish it was Wilder. Meaning that he wished he would have just fought Wilder and get it out the way. So that way he ain't got that heavy boulder on his chest. So, again, a lot of folks may talk about Wilder, but AJ was at the fight. And when Wilder was announced the winner, AJ could have left the ring. He left the fight early. Before they even could read the scorecard, he got up, dapped everybody up. He purposefully stayed where he was at because he knew Wilder had to walk by him. All of a sudden, you want to dap everybody up in the world now. All of a sudden, you got time now. You got time to dap everybody up. So yeah, he's waiting in front of the walkway and behind in the back, and then he waited on the walkway. When Wilder's walking back. So he's strategically placed there. So I don't know if it's for relevance. I don't know if it's to see what was going to happen, but AJ showed up to the Wilder fight and he showed up to the Fury fight. Is he going to fight any of them next? I highly doubt it. I think he's going to need a fight or two to see where he's at mentally. I don't think, him coming off the Jake Paul fight should fight Fury, because let's not forget, before he fought Fury, he got dog walked by Daniel Dubois. And then after that, Daniel Dubois got dog walked by Usyk. So I think AJ should just do what Eddie Hearn gonna tell him to do, and that not make the big fights, and that's probably fight another Jermaine Franklin-ish, another soft touch to see where he's at mentally. So can he handle a full training camp without his friends there? Not folks, man, I want to hear that, but his friends were his strength coach and his boxing coach. He's gonna need a new team around him. How is he gonna react to the same cadences and same voice in training camp? That comes to the mental cycle of AJ. And before the accident, a lot of folks said that AJ was mentally weak. So, so we gonna see. We will all love to see these fights, but as long as Eddie Hearn's a promoter, he ain't gonna make no big fight.
I agree, man. I agree with you, man. What's good? Adrian Crook, what's good? Say what's good, folks. Appreciate you coming by, brother. JB, I had to say you for last, man. What's your thoughts on Tyson Fury's sloppy ass fight, and then do you think AJ is ducking Fury?
Man, I want to go outside and finish trimming them damn bushes, man. Been watching that damn fight. Like Town said, old boy was slow. Punches you could see coming from a mile away. Funny because he was slower. He was slower and sloppier than what people was trying to make it out Wilder to be, which is hilarious to me. And people, it's a boxing clinic. It should be. This dude almost got knocked out by David Allen in his last fight. And all he got is a punch. Literally. If he land that slow ass shit, Tyson Fury, man. I'm not a fan of Tyson Fury. I don't want to give him credit because I know he's one of these dudes, man, that he half-asses work and he fakes and steal to get where he at. You know what I'm saying? He's not 100. And people like that look up to him. He should never be mentioned as one of the heavyweight greats, in my opinion. I know he cheated to get where he at. That's how I feel. I don't give a fuck how you feel. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm not giving him credit. I just see what I see. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even stagger old boy on Saturday. And I'm supposed to believe that he could crack a Deontay Wilder's head. Get the fuck out of here. People were scared of Wilder. And I seen too many bitch ass niggas come together like Voltron to make sure that Deontay Wilder lost. And each one of you know who you are. Fuck y'all, all y'all who was involved in that shit. You know what I'm saying? So now my boy, he having personal issues. He having doubts to really, doubting that he really that nigga. No, bro, you really that nigga. That's how niggas, when you dangerous, Nazim Richardson said it, when you dangerous, niggas start making plans because they scared of you. And it was the whole, I remember from 2017 to the early of 2020, niggas was scared. Deontay Wilder had the heavyweight division shook. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Everybody in the LDBC who was around during that time, remember that shit. Had the whole heavyweight division shook. When everybody was ducking Luis Ortiz, when that was supposed to be AJ mandatory, he fought Luis Ortiz and got him out of there. The reason why the Tyson Fury fight had to be made because AJ didn't want the fight. He was playing shell game with the contract. Then tried to get Deontay Wilder to sign a bullshit ass his own deal that he wasn't even in the contract. Wasn't even one of the fights, like a 3 or 4 or 5 fight deal or something like that. And AJ wasn't part of one of them fights. Trying to give him a contract that they got Luis Ortiz to sign. They keep him away from AJ. So fuck both of them dudes, man. I don't give a fuck. Now, my Christian side say, my believer in Yahweh, I should say, side, I'm happy that AJ is among the living. I'm happy he get to smell the rose. I'm happy he gets another chance. But as far as the boxing shit, man, how you move, fuck that motherfucker. With love, nigga. What he do? Cause what we in me, you in town, we had a talk about, after the show one day, and we talk about we always give love to niggas and back chances to niggas that don't deserve it, but we don't pray for the dudes who really put time in 100 and really about that. We don't support them. You know what I'm saying? So, and Deontay Wilder is one of them dudes that everybody should get behind because he from the Alabama. He may say words or mispronounce words. I understand what he's saying. You got a nigga that's president that mispronounce words all the time and do stupid shit. Y'all elect him as president. I don't want to hear that shit, bro. Y'all can't fool niggas like me. You both, man, 70%, 80% of you motherfuckers is fake out here, bro. Just like what we talking about. And I had to check myself today in today's show. I got mad at Ted Ginn Jr. because he don't understand the games that's being played. But at the same time, my brother is pointing out to me that the rest of these crackers right here get away with shit. So fuck it. Just next time get a Get a designated driver, my nigga. You be alright. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry, man, when I on a tangent, man. But as far as the fight, man, I didn't enjoy the fight. Uh, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Wilder and the Joshua fight. That's what I want to see. Niggas, they're gonna rumble. The wrestling, the punching, the fight, but after the bell, that's what I'm talking about. Niggas really fighting, man. Yeah, man. That's it, bro.
Okay, and one other thing, fellas, I want to get y'all thoughts. Chisora wants a rematch. Do you think Deontay Wilder should go ahead and take the rematch, or should he try to push for the AJ fight, or possible Usyk fight after he finished fighting that MMA fighter, kickboxer, whatever it is? What you think, Brent?
Okay. Honestly, I wouldn't mind a Chisora rematch. But I mean, you know, that's up to Deontay Wilder. But I for one wouldn't mind seeing that because I appreciate two men going into battle the way that they did. So no, I wouldn't mind it at all. It was a very entertaining and also very exciting fight. You know, Deontay to me clearly pulled away with the way that he was actually controlling things, and then you know him dropping Chisora twice didn't hurt either. But yeah, I would love to see that, and I would also love to see some tweaks or some improvements in his game as well. He didn't utilize the jab as much as he should. I
Agreed.
would I would look forward to seeing how he would be able to improve on that. He clinched very well. Um, in instances where Chisora was rushing forward and he was able to smother Chisora's attacks. I would like to see, you know, how he improves with that tactic. I would also love to see, you know, him be able to test the accuracy on his right hand and also the durability, of course, on his right hand as well. But yeah, I would love to see a Chisora rematch, but I wouldn't be mad if he actually pursued another avenue. Fuck AJ because he's not gonna fight Deontay. If he wasn't gonna fight him in 2017, if he wasn't gonna fight him in 2021, 22, 23 on forward, he's not gonna fucking fight him now. I'm sorry for the language, but I just don't. And I'm sorry to do this on your show, brothers, but I have to be honest and real with myself. I have a very low tolerance for hoe ass niggas. And despite AJ being a good human being outside of boxing, he has hoe ass nigga tendencies, and I just, for one, I can't do it. I just can't do it. As far as like his business acumen with boxing goes, there's some hoe ass nigga shit, man. You supposed to be the best in the world. And it gets me started on another fighter whom I'm not gonna mention from Baltimore. But you do this for a living. You are blessed to be one of the world's best at what you do. And you won't even motherfucking test yourself. Fuck the fans and everybody else and trying to appease them and all that other shit. Okay? All right, fine. You want to be selfish and shit? That's fine. But be selfish the right motherfucking way. If you're going to be selfish, I want to be the best. I want to be the best. I got to prove to myself that I'm the best in the world at what I do. Can't nobody fuck with me. No, you don't want to do that. I just want to get the bag, man. I just want to get the bag. I want to get the bag. And you talking all this whole shit about, oh, well, you know, hey, I don't have to do that. You can't make me and all this other shit. Man, get the fuck on, man. Shit. Either be the best or get the fuck out the way for somebody else to be the motherfucking best. I'm sick of these hoe ass niggas, man. I don't understand why God blessed these people with all these gifts. And I know I'm sounding like a fucking internet hater that's in his mama's basement typing all kind of random shit. But this is coming from the
You're
heart,
not.
man.
You good.
You are blessed with you are blessed with a gift and abilities that most other people do not have. And for you not to be able to utilize those gifts the way that God intended for you to is shameful. And I think that's where this is coming from. Shit. If if I had these particular gifts, I would want to see how good I was. Shit, I got a lot of regrets, which I'll talk to y'all offline about. But you know, coming
Hey,
from a
hey,
person that actually squandered the gifts that the limited gifts that he actually had, shit. There are certain parts of myself, and I'm not gonna bare my soul on the internet. I'm gonna cut myself short. There are certain parts that I just don't like because you were given a gift, and just maybe because of the color of the gift or the way that the gift was wrapped, you didn't appreciate it.
Mm.
I know what that feels like. I know what that is. And
mm,
for AJ and another boxer who shall remain nameless, not to utilize those God-given gifts when you are supposed to be the best in the world at what you do is shameful. That I have never ever encountered, and I know I'm going to be at odds with some folks in the family, but I have never ever seen somebody with such cowardice as those two. You
Mm.
won't even fucking try? You won't even fucking try? Oh man. I just man, yeah, it really is beyond me. God is giving y'all gifts like that and you won't even fucking use them. You just using them to try to make a profit, which okay, I get in a certain aspect. Yes, you should capitalize off that. But at the same time, you shouldn't be a coward about it. You should believe in yourself a little bit more than what you are. What you telling me is that, hey, when push come to shove, yeah, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and be a pussy about it. I don't want to do that. You can't make me do it. The fuck? All right. I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm done.
No, you good, man. You good. You cooking. Asian Cook said Fury should get back on the cocaine. See, real ninjas know, man. People know what that is, man. People ain't stupid.
Oh yeah, he was on that Lazarus that first fight. Yup.
Yeah. Uh, Big Joe, you was about to say something. Go ahead, take it.
we should have more shows on Monday. And JB and Brent out here talking that talk out here tonight. You
For
know,
real.
so we need some more Monday shows. What was the question again, brother? What was the original question?
So basically, do you think that Chisora or Deontay need to go
Oh,
ahead and
okay,
take
rematch,
another
rematch.
fight, a
Um,
rematch, or he should just move on and go after Usyk or AJ?
to be honest, bro, I don't want to see it, and this is the reason why. Deontay Wilder is the king of rematches. Deontay Wilder is the king of not ducking no smoke. He rematched Bavern. He rematched Fury 3 times. And he rematched Luis Ortiz twice. Chisora is asking for that rematch because Wilder's like, man, we can run it. What you talking about? Run it. You know what I mean? So he know Wilder like that. But Wilder literally almost got screwed in his last fight. The whole thing was
Mhm.
against him. And he came out unscathed. Why would you want to try that again? What do you get from fighting Chisora again? You already beat him. It could beat him pretty convincingly. You saw what you need to work on. What's the point of fighting him again? You know what I mean? So if anything, you could fight a Usyk if Usyk wants to fight because Usyk said he wanted to fight Wilder, and his team said, "Man, I don't know about all that now. Hold on now." Usyk wanted to fight. His team don't want to fight. You know, so everybody can say whatever they want about Wilder. The actual fighters know what's up. So it don't matter what you fans say or what you boxing pundits and boxing experts say, because them fighters know what it is. Just like any athlete, any player of any sport, you know who's real and you know who's fake. You know what I mean? So people can say whatever they want. Ain't nobody lining up to fight Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Ain't too many folks lining up to fight Devin Haney. You know what I mean? So I'll say it like this: Wilder can fight a Usyk, or try to get one of them belts if that's what he wants to do. Or if Wilder's like, you know what? If he want to slide off into the sunset, that's cool too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Wilder can do whatever he wants. Because y'all cool with AJ doing whatever he want to do. Wilder can do the same thing because Wilder actually fought, some of the best in the division. The so-called Gypsy King that everybody praising, he fought him 3 times. You know what I mean? He tried to fight Usyk. He's trying to fight Usyk. He's tried to fight Povetkin and all them guys. Hell, he tried to fight Klitschko.
Klitschko, yeah.
Yeah. So Wilder has tried to make all the people. Wilder ain't gotta do nothing. You know what I mean? So,
but you
don't need to fight Chisora.
I'm gonna have to drop names. You'll hear Uncle Shay and the Nightcat Collectors talk bad about Wilder. He's not technical and he's not as technical as AJ and his resume, but they don't know shit about boxing.
Well, I would say that Shannon Sharp is the same guy who wants to be at the UFC fight at the White House. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thanks. There it is.
So if you want to be at the UFC fight at the White House, you know what you gotta do, right? So you gotta get along with the get along.
There you know
what I mean? So, but Wilder ain't gotta do nothing. And shout out to Brent and JB for speaking hardcore facts. So Wilder ain't gotta do nothing. If AJ ain't gotta do nothing, Wilder ain't gotta do nothing.
Facts. JB, what's your thoughts on this?
So Chisora should have a Coke in his smile and a Five Guys burger and retire. Cause he said he retired, right? That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Don't start lying now. You say you're retiring. You brought your whole family out there. Folks is giving you Five Guys, Five Guys heavyweight championship belts, and you high-fiving everybody, walking all slow into the ring entrance and all that kind of stuff. Now you want to fight again. Boy, if you don't hang it up and go spend time with your family, because Chisora that all that boxing's catching up to him now.
Yeah.
And he took some nice shots from Wilder. You know what I mean? That's gonna have some effect on him. Same way as having an effect on Fury. Fury can say whatever he wants, but he ain't the same fighter after he fought Wilder. The same way they say Wilder ain't the same fighter when he fought Fury. So,
nope.
My bad. But yeah.
Nope.
Chisora, all you got have a Coke and a smile and the Five Guys and spend time with your family.
Yeah, quiet as kept. He was about to get knocked out, but he was purposely sliding out the ring. I don't care what y'all say. Ain't no Wilder pushed him out. He did that. He felt that damn power and said, "F this."
And then them ropes were loose on purpose. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but JB, what's your thoughts? Should Chisora deserve a rematch, or does Wilder move on, or just Wilder just say, you know what, they don't deserve me? Like Big Joe said, I'm right off of the sunset.
Big Bro just said it. And Brent, Chisora need to go sit his ass down somewhere. I mean, I know Brent said he don't mind it, but I like Joe said, they tried to cheat, bro. That's facts. We've seen that.
The referee, which was the same referee who
was in that Fury fight. Yep. And he had like he could. Yep. So he need to go sit his ass down. So when he said it was the last fight, and that was the whole promotion. I don't want to see Chisora in the ring again, man. He gonna get hurt. Like that's gonna affect him. Them punches from Wilder and like Town said, like on Fury. I mean, people miss this because I be when I watch boxing, I be listening to the corner. Tyson Fury corner was trying to get him to push forward to knock him out. But the reason why Tyson Fury couldn't knock old boy out is like you said, Jared, when you brought up the fight topic, Tyson Fury and old boy, he was getting hit with some of that shit. And he felt that shit too. Felt it enough that he didn't smother, do what he did with Wilder and come forward and try to get him out of there.
He could not as much as he wanted to because as sloppy and horrible as he was, Big Boy was strong. The big sloppy Russian was strong as hell. He just couldn't box.
Wrestling bears and shit. Yeah. So he was afraid to come forward and to get him out of there, so he just chose to box. But that punch resistance ain't like it used to. So that's why I say, man, I won't be surprised if they do make that AJ Fury fight, if AJ catch his ass or something. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, bro, it's hard to knock out a crackhead. So, but at the same time, man, when everybody keep talking about, everybody keep talking about, and just all on his. I'm sorry to say, bro, all on his dick, bro. Oh, he came up like set up like the Undertaker, nigga. That's cocaine, nigga. I know a cocaine sit up when I see one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Thank you, JB.
Cocaine, bro. But
you may get knocked out to heaven, but the devil gonna wake you up. Lord have mercy.
Facts.
Oh,
that boy sat up like somebody was stealing his stash. That's why he sat up. He was sleeping, and then he was like, I think somebody's stealing my stash, and my crack stash. But that's man.
One Tyson, two Tyson, three Tyson. Yeah, that too. Yeah, somebody call your name 20 times, you gonna wake up now.
That too.
And you know what? That people is so. We talk about these zombie movies and what's the zombie series that was on AMC?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Fuck zombies. The public, especially the American public, are the zombies. They have no discernment. They don't understand what they're looking at, especially when it comes to boxing and the foul stuff they go into boxing.
Man,
that first fight when Deontay Wilder, and I'm sorry, JB, you just sparked.
No, you go ahead.
When Deontay Wilder caught him in the 12th round, and he was on the ground for a few seconds, technically, the ref was supposed to call it off. Because the homeboy was looking at it. Homeboy was looking at his eyes, was looking up at the top of the damn Coliseum. Stadium. As a referee, for his safety, it doesn't matter if he get up a couple of seconds later, you're supposed to call the fight off.
But his eyes rolling in the back of his head?
Yes. If you watch current fights where dudes got knocked out like that, no other ref has done that. Tell me what I'm lying. Go back and watch fights that dudes were knocked out prior to that Fury fight the same way and tell me the ref was on his knees trying to wake the fighter up. That hasn't happened.
I give you one, and it is Deontay lost when Deontay got caught with that vein punch. He laid on the ropes. He got up. He got up and beat the count, but they still caught him out. Count him
Yeah,
out though.
yeah, good example.
You right,
Another one that is the
Jared?
Brian Norman fight. When Brian Norman fought that fool in Japan and laid him to spark out, they called it off right away. They ain't waste no time with that.
Yeah.
Nope.
So what you're
So
looking
you
at,
right.
something's wrong with it, and the media and the content creators who's with the bullshit is not going to point these things out. They're just not. But fellas,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fury gonna fuck around and get hurt, bro. That's
Mhm.
all.
yeah.
I think Jack Reach would have gave him CPR if he could get away with it.
Oh yeah, he would have. He would have. But fellas, we've
But to
been on
answer
this
your question, Jared,
long,
I
baby.
don't want to see that damn fight, bro. I don't want to see that fight.
You don't want to see that fight. Okay. I don't either. I want him to move on. Now, whatever Deontay Wilder does, that's on his. That's
I don't
his.
give a damn.
Yeah.
He can fight Krusty the Clown next. I don't give a shit.
Facts. But y'all, this was a good show for Monday. Like Big Joe said, it was a very good show. Uh, Coach, we missed you, man. Coach 67 Sports TV. Y'all make sure y'all support his channel. Mr. Southern. Like, the reason why I call him Mr. Southern because he has a lot of Southern Jaguar HBCU content, and of course we have a show together, HBCU Fanatics. We try to have it every Thursday or Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure y'all check us out. Brent Fox, let everybody know where they can meet you, see you, man.
All right. I have a little show that I need to do better on called It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox, where I, much like this, talk about a variety of subjects, particularly sports. And if you are if you are a solid Steelers supporter like I am, please check out my content. And again, brothers, I can't thank y'all enough for actually having me on, man. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure for you joining, man.
No problem, man.
No problem at all, man. It's a pleasure. I appreciate you taking time out your day to hop on. And same thing with you, Big Joe, man. Let everybody know where they can meet you and see you and support anything that you want or promote anything that you want.
And so you can catch me on most LDBC platforms showing love to the brothers and sisters of the mighty. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't gonna promote nothing today. I'm gonna shout out to a brother who made history in the day of age of the current administration who's erasing black history, erasing black culture, taking down monuments and deleting this and deleting that, saying that if you are like somebody says who's no longer with us, if I see a black pilot, then I'm gonna be worried when I get on the plane. Shout out to the brother Victor Glover, a black man who went to the moon and came back safely. He inspired not only millions of Americans, he inspired a lot of young black men and a young black women who aspired to do tremendous things. Shout out to the give me a second, the Katherine Johnson and all those sisters who help folks go into space. So what's the name of that movie they were in? I'm
Hidden
blanking right now.
Figures.
Hidden Figures. Thank you. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, y'all. I should know that. I'm blanking right now. So the sisters who was in Hidden Figures and brothers like Victor Glover. Shout out to them um for being an example for our people. When folks love to highlight the negative stuff in our community, whether it's Pooh Shiesty, Gucci Mane, and all that kind of foolishness, we got brothers like Victor Glover out there who's married to a black woman with black children, going to the space and coming back during an administration who don't want to acknowledge black excellence. So shout out to Victor Glover, and thank you for inspiring the young minds of like my daughter and the other black youth in America. So shout out to y'all. Y'all have a good week. And hey, stay sucker free.
Yes, sir. Stay sucker free. You heard it. Wise words from Big Joe. And JB, thank you for hopping on as always, man. Any lasting words, man?
Nah, man, we had a good show for Monday. The junk with fire. Man, everybody have a great rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? And we'll catch y'all hopefully next Sunday.
Yes, sir. And this was another installment of the Southern Baller Show. Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe. But we out, y'all. Peace.